Adding children to house title taxes. Adding a child's name to the title of your home in Canada is a significant decision with potentially far-reaching tax implications. Although there is a common perception that there is a simple way to pass one's real property to the next generation and avoid probate fees, it can trigger immediate tax liabilities and affect future tax exemptions. Immediate tax implications, deemed disposition, and capital gains. When adding a child to title for the house as a joint tenant, Revenue Canada generally considers this a deemed disposition. This means you are considered to have sold a portion of your property, typically 50% if one child is added, at its current fair market value, even though no money has exchanged hands. If the property is your principal residence, the capital gain resulting from this deemed disposition is usually sheltered by the principal residence exemption. However, this action can have significant consequences for the future. Principal residence exemption, a shared and potentially reduced benefit. Once your child is a co-owner, they will have their own ownership stake in the property. Here's how this can impact the principal residence exemption for both you and your child. For the parent, the portion of the home you retain continues to be eligible for the principal residence exemption. For the child, if the home is not your child's principal residence, such that they live elsewhere, their portion of the property will not be eligible for the principal residence exemption from the date they are added to the title. When the house is eventually sold or upon your death, your child will be liable for capital gains tax on the increase in the value of their share of the property from the time they were added to the title. For example, you add your daughter to the title of your home, which is valued at $600,000. Years later, you sell the home for $900,000. Your daughter, who has her own home, will have a capital gain of $150,000, 50% of the $300,000 appreciation, and will owe tax on this amount. Attribution rules, a nuance for adult children. Generally, when you gift property to a spouse or minor child, any income or capital gains from that property are attributed back to you. However, for adult children, the capital gains realized on gifted property are typically taxed in the hands of the child, not the parent. Probate fees. Significant variances by province. One of the primary motivations for adding a child to a house title is to avoid probate fees. However, the methodology for calculating probate fees varies significantly by province, with certain provinces like Ontario and British Columbia having a percentage-based probate fee that have no maximum cap, while other provinces like Alberta have minimal probate fees with a maximum cap. In British Columbia, a $1 million estate would incur approximately $13,650 in probate fees, and a $2 million estate would be approximately $26,650 in probate fees. In Ontario, a $1 million estate would incur approximately $14,250 in probate fees, and a $2 million estate would be approximately $29,250 in probate fees. By comparison, the maximum probate fee in Alberta in 2025 is a flat $525 for estates valued at $250,000 or more, such that even a $5 million estate would only incur $525 in probate fees. Land transfer taxes. While most provinces impose a land transfer tax on gifting real property to a child, including Ontario, British Columbia, Quebec, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, and Labrador, with limited exemptions that are province-specific. There are a few provinces that do not impose a land transfer tax on the gifting of real property to a child, being Alberta and Saskatchewan. However, in those provinces, there still may be legal and registration fees associated with changing title, such as those due to the Alberta Land Titles Office. Alternatives to adding one's child on title to the house can include the effective use of a will, a testamentary trust, and an inter vivos trust. Each of these estate planning strategies should be properly assessed from a tax and legal standpoint in relation to one's individual circumstances and personal objectives, given the significant variances that can exist between personal situations and provinces. Please be reminded that this information is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal or tax advice. It is to your advantage to consult with a qualified legal professional and a tax advisor to understand the specific implications of adding a child to your house title based on your individual circumstances. They can help you navigate the complexities and choose the best course of action for your estate plan. Meanwhile, taxes are but a single aspect that should be considered when contemplating adding one's children to the real property title for one's home, including legalities, loss of control, children's creditors and divorce, reverse mortgages, and other considerations. To learn more about our law firm's legal practice, visit our law firm website or contact us to schedule a confidential consultation. Thank you.